First thing first, there is nothing inherently wrong with a push-pull split. Your muscles are not going to start to disintegrate simply because you're using the push-pull split. In fact, you might have been using the split for a while and you've seen some reasonably good progress from it. My issue with this split is that most people who assign themselves this split don't understand the basics of program design. Tweeted this a while back, and it seemed like a lot of people wanted some extra clarification in regards to what I meant by wrong side first. So could you imagine beginning construction on a house and starting on the roof first? Seems pretty backwards, right? Same thing when designing your training. You don't pick the split first and then decide what goes into every day. You're starting from the wrong side. So yes, assuming that you're here for bodybuilding purposes, I imagine most of you are, the first thing you do is assign yourself a to-do list, an action plan for every muscle group. How much work you feel you need, which exercises are you going to use, the sets, the reps, and the proximity to failure. Again, this is totally up to you. Your goals are your goals. There's really no wrong way of doing this. After all, like, this is bodybuilding. It's like sports meets art. So you decide. You do you here. You want to be a peach boy? Hey, you do you. Or a muscle mommy with like snow on the bicep peaks. That's fine. And this is totally up to you, personal preference. Or like I think the majority of you guys want to build a symmetrical, well-balanced physique, and some body parts tend to not grow as fast as others. So much how the peach boy would prioritize his peach, you will prioritize the body parts that just seem to be a little bit more stubborn, right? So as you create your to-do list, everything will, to an extent, as reasonably as possible, revolve around the areas that you want to focus on the most. This part right here is the metaphorical foundation that you are laying so that you can then start construction. Step two is you're actually going to take what you did in step one and you're going to try to spread it around in a way that makes sense and in a way that really helps the areas that you're either trying to focus out of personal preference or because they're stubborn. You want to put those body parts in a position where they are more likely to succeed, and you will see the progress that you are trying to generate. This will mean that most likely they will get first dibs when it comes to how early they are trained during the training week, and quite often also how early they are trained within each training day, on the days that you do train those areas that you are trying to focus on. We can learn a lot from the gym bros, right? So what do they do every Monday? And when they walk into that gym, what is it that they're looking for to see if there's an open one available? Big hint here, it's not a squat rack. Step three now, and you will find yourself flopping back and forth with step two, because as you will see, this is where it gets a little complicated as you are trying to really customize a split to fit your specific needs. You lay out your work, especially when it comes to the areas that you want to highlight. You have to ask yourself, how much work can I perform on a daily basis before the quality of the work starts to degrade? Let's pick on these gym bros one more time. So this is what a gym bro will typically do on a Monday, but what if we were able to spread it into something like this? Doing this would absolutely increase the quality of the last two exercises they would usually perform on that Monday. This is where it's going to start to get a little bit tricky, and you're going to see yourself going back and forth, moving things around. It can be a little frustrating, but it's going to be worth it at the end, because you're going to have something that's very customizable to you and what you want out of your training. And this is, again, in general, what training splits try to do, is they try to minimize the amount of overlap that you create so that the work that you do is of higher quality. A lot of these popular training splits you see out there, they do this, but it's a generic way of going about it. This is not just the push-pull legs, the upper lowers, insert your favorite influencers bro split here. Same deal is the fact that they don't start from the inside out. If all this kind of takes you by surprise, then I really suggest read these books. Read these books. Too many people out there who, they know what they are, but they've never cracked one open. These will really go into the nuts and bolts of training design, everything from how many sets, rep ranges, exercise selection, it's all in there. Look, don't get me wrong, picking out a training split and starting off with that, it's not a bad way to cut your teeth when it comes to program design, but at a certain point, you're gonna wanna pop that hood open, see what's there, and really fine tune that machine so that it fits you, what you want to accomplish. It's frustrating at first, but with a little practice, and as you learn more, it's gonna feel less like a Rubik's Cube, and it's going to be a lot of fun to design these training plans from scratch. And trust me, in time, it's gonna be worth all the trouble.